So I went to this exhibition the other day, and well, I say the other day, it was today, but when you guys watched it, it's the other day. So I went to this exhibition the other day, and it's just art exhibition with students of a course I did 2 years back, and I went with a friend, right? So we're just having a look about at some of these works that some people have done. Some look pretty cool, some look average. I don't think there were many that actually looked bad this time, so that was pretty good. And I see this kind of oldish woman, late 40s maybe, early 50s, I don't know. And I see this old woman, and I say to my friend, "Hey, isn't that the filming teacher that we had a few years back? A few years being 2013 when I studied film." Anyway, he says, "No, I don't think so. I mean, if it was, it wasn't my teacher, so." And I thought, "Oh, okay, well, let's not say hi unless she recognizes me." Anyway, so we just walk about and stuff. My friend leaves and another friend pops by. So he wants to speak to some of the teachers he had, and some of his teachers were some of my old teachers too. So we're just walking about, just saying hi to some of the teachers and that. And he bumps into this girl. He turns around and she looks at him. She's like, "Oh man, oh it's you. Your work inspired me so much." And my friend's looking at her like complete. I don't know you, but thanks. And beside her is the old woman I mentioned a few moments ago. Remember when I said that? Said that old woman video teacher? Yeah. So she was there, and I was like, "Is that her mum?" And she turns and looks at me. She's like, "Oh wow, oh, I haven't seen you in ages. How are you doing?" So I thought, oh, she recognized. Oh wow, she recognized me. Okay, play it cool. I don't remember really what she taught or anything, but I do recognize her. So play it cool. Look like you remember her. So I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing good, thanks, blah, blah, blah." And she just says to me, she's like, "Oh, you look a bit different. You look like you've plumbed out," as she pointed to her face. She's like, "You've plumbed out a bit, or pulled out a bit." I don't know. I don't know what she said. I thought she meant I lost weight or something, so I don't know. I don't think I have, but I had a haircut. So I say to her, I'm like, "It might be my hair. I had a haircut." And she's like, "Oh, that might be it. You look like you're doing good." So I say, "Thanks." I just play along, you know. I mean, what are you gonna do when someone, I don't know, I don't know. So anyway, she looks over at the artwork beside us, some kind of graphic novel one of the students did, and she's like, "Oh, this is Kalim's artwork. You remember Kalim, right?" I'm like, "I don't think I was in his class, no." She's like, "Oh, well, what are you doing anyway?" So I tell her I've been doing, my university, studying computer arts, doing some 3D stuff like that. And one of my friends comes over, he's doing this comic group. It's on hiatus for the past 4 months, but I was in it for a while. And she comes over and she's like, well, talks to us all. And my friend's like, "Oh, he's in my comic class, blah, blah, blah." Eventually, we're talking about comics and stuff. I show her one of mine. She says she likes it. Looks nice and fresh. The colors are good. Thinks it looks pretty nice. And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." I say to her, "I'm still having some trouble with the posture these days, so but it's nice to just try and push myself to learn." And she looks at me and she's like, "Do you mean the proportions?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the proportions too." And she's like, "Well, if you came to the life drawing classes a bit more often, maybe you'd have learned." And I was like, I legit, no joke when I say this, honestly cannot remember what class she taught me. So I didn't really think too hard on it, and I thought, well, maybe she taught me life drawing. So I say, "Ah, yeah, I guess so." I thought I'd just agree with her. I will move topic. I can't remember her ever teaching me life drawing. I can't remember what she taught me at all. I thought she was teaching me film, but must have been something else. Must have been another teacher. She looks at the comic guy's wife and says to her, the amount of times this guy skipped class is unreal. One time he came into class with a bandage on his head," as she pointed to her forehead, and I began thinking, wait, when did I do this? And she begins to, I'm not even joking, she begins to laugh, almost like she's ridiculing me. And she's like, "Oh yeah, it was funny. He said he fell over and he had a bandage on his head, and it was the funniest. Like, I looked at him and I thought, is this guy for real?" She's laughing. The guy's wife's laughing. The guy's thankfully gone, so he wouldn't get this weird impression of me. The guy's wife's laughing, being like, "Oh, what?" I don't even know what she was saying anymore. the thoughts pop in my head where I cannot remember honestly ever having done this. I can't remember why I would even do this. If I was gonna skip class, I'd probably just not come in. I wouldn't put on a show and say I can't come in, I've hurt my head. So I was very confused. And she's like, "Do you not remember that?" And she begins to laugh. She actually starts laughing out loud. And I'm honestly trying to think hard to think, I better clear my name before I'm made to look like a fool or something. Genuinely can't remember. We're here all mature now. She's not taught me in like what, 4 or 5 years? All mature. I'm sure I did not wear a bandage. And I thought she was talking about plaster. No, no, no. She then began doing a hand sign. And I'm like, hold on, wait. Do you mean like a whole, like a bandage, like a wrap around my head? She's like, yeah, you had it around your whole head. Oh, I can't remember. She said it was funny, but you should have seen her face. She was like, can you really not remember? It was the most bizarre thing I'd seen. I'm thinking, nah. She's either making stuff up to have a laugh at me, or she genuinely has me confused for something, because I 100% never put a bandage over my head. Like a plaster, fair enough, maybe 1 point, but I wrapped my head in actual bandages, I don't think so. So I say to her, I'm like, when did this happen? And she says to me, she's like, oh, a while ago. You were in Kalim's class, right? I'm like, I don't know who Kalim is. I wasn't in his class. And it hits her. You should have seen her face. There's a brief moment of realization. It comes to her. She stops laughing. She's like, wait, what? And then she asks my age. And then she's trying to piece it all together. All the stuff she's just heard. It's like she just discovered the moon isn't made of cheese or something. She just stops and she's like, oh. And then I'm like, wait, hold on. What classes do you teach? And she begins to list stuff like life drawing, some other life study, spatial environment. And as soon as she said spatial, I remembered instantly. She was this teacher we had years ago in 2011. She, one day, what I remember her for, she walked into class once with a box of shapes saying, guys, we're going to spend 2 hours drawing shapes, and nobody in the class was looking forward to that. They're like, oh no, you're joking me. I remember I drew I told her this. I said, oh, we did the spatial design, yeah, because I remember you walked in with a box of shapes once and you got us all to draw it. And now she was the one that was looking at me kind of like, what? Like, she knew I was telling the truth. She didn't want to admit it because it's not cool at all. I'm like, yeah, you got us to sit down and draw some shapes and stuff. And I drew a circle once and you told me to shade it up a bit so it looked like it was popping out of the paper. She gave like a small laugh, like, haha, yeah, Flip, you're right. I did make you guys do that. You should have seen that. I turned the tables on her. And I'm like, yeah, I was in a class with these two. Do you remember? She instantly said yes. Like, she wanted to quickly move off from this, almost like she was embarrassed or something. She's like, yeah, I remember now. She came back to me like later on, being like, oh no, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking about someone else. Just looks like you. Yeah, no, yeah, you were in a different class. You never did the thing with the bandages. Oh, I'm sorry. No, yeah. Oh, Flip. I was like, yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't remember ever doing that, so it was a bit odd. And she's like, what's your name again? I was like, I knew it. She didn't remember me. And I'm like, a part of me thinks I shouldn't be offended because it wasn't me, so she wasn't laughing at me. But at the same time, it's like she ridiculed someone else at me as if I was the one that did what the other guy did. Like, it's the weirdest thing. But yeah, that was my experience at the exhibition. Very weird, definitely. So yeah, that was the tutor reunion story. If you guys like this kind of video, comment below and let me know.